Okay, so it's Sunday morning, the 25th of February, and this is my garden in Malawi, and it is kept immaculately by a man by the name of Crispin, and he's a Malawian gentleman who didn't have a job and came to work for us. And this guy just from 7:30 in the morning until 5, he will just pours his heart and his soul into his garden. It's his love. He takes pride in what he does. He's the most remarkable man I've ever met. Never complains, never asks for anything. He's kind, he's good. He's just really, and you can see it. You can see it in all he does. His care and love is just poured out into his work. Anyway, I want to talk a little bit about Shannon Watts today, and I want to talk to people who have made videos about Shannon and her children and have sat there all in their self-righteous mode, pointing out, criticizing Shanann, Cece, Bella, Nico. They're resting in peace now. Can you please leave them to rest in peace? If you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Please, please be responsible for your content, because it's not a reflection on Shanann. It's a reflection on you. You are telling us who you are, and you're finding faults with something that is a problem for you. So please, let's show some love and some respect. And then this case is something that from the beginning God had his hand in. Shannon Watts was required. She gave energy, she brought love, she brought light, she brought encouragement. She fought hard to stay focused and positive. She gave 8 years of her life to a man who was playing with her emotionally and taking great delight in what he was doing. When she wanted to be happy, he was noticeably sad. When he was happy, she would have put on a brave face. Narcissists can do terrible things to you. They can play terrible, terrible games with you, especially when there's love and light in someone. They don't like it. Happiness, joy, goodness, it's pure hatred from that narcissist. They want you to feel the misery that lives inside them. And she fought every single day to do the best that she could. That is honor. That's determination. That's something that very few people will ever understand, because you don't make the attempt to bring love and life into this world. You don't. And I'm surrounded by a bunch of people who are determined not to enjoy a laugh, not to have a good time, to be miserable. And they they are content in their misery. And it's draining. It drains the soul because I'm naturally a happy person. So for Nicole Kessinger and Chris Watts, they have the exact same numerology. Now it's almost basically impossible for two people sharing the same numerology to meet. Mostly our numbers don't collide. And when our numbers collide, you have male and female energy coming together. It's like two halves that now become one whole. Okay? My husband explained to me that from Nikki's point of view, she wanted Shanann's love. And for me, I don't understand that because I don't want anybody else's love. I don't look at somebody else and go, I want what you've got. No, it doesn't faze me in the least. It's not where I come from. I don't understand it. But my husband understood very clearly who and what she is. Now, she stalked Shanann, and you can't claim a typo because then there's a typo on my rates and taxes. I didn't know AI makes typos. And the computer says that she started her search on the 1st of January 2017. So I guess she started her search back then, right? And she gets a job at Andarko in March of 2018. Yeah, nothing to see there. No questions need to be asked. In an interview, she can indicate with her hands how huge Shanann was. Interesting. So you saw Shanann at some point because you know how big she is. She can indicate the size of the children with her hands. So you saw, the mind recalls. When people delete their data, the McCanns and the Tapper 7 and everything going on there, phones not used, these are doctors, phone switched off. Okay. This case will never rest. It will never rest until there's justice here. You stalked someone, you inserted yourself into their lives, and God warned Shanann. When Shanann's mom said, "Don't go home, stay with us," God was talking. God talks to us all the time. The phone will ring and you'll spend 15 more minutes looking for your wallet, looking for your keys, but you avoided a car accident. God talks all the time to us. We just don't listen. Then Shanann's plane was delayed. The delaying of the plane was crucial because the plan was to definitely take Shanann out, but not to lunch. The two children, I believe he probably wanted to save because Nicole Kessinger was searching for an apartment for him and the girls. But I think she changed that. She agreed with him initially. It was to take Shanann out and not to lunch. But the girls were a whole different story. In her mind, they were going to be taken out and not to lunch. But definitely, she that was not her intention. Um, the grave was possibly dug Friday and prepped on Friday. He would have taken Shanann out there, placed her there. It was a temporary site. It was not meant to be a permanent site. The sheet was left to assist him when he came back. He was driving back to get the Lexus where Shanann's phone was, because he was going to set up messages where Shanann would text him saying, I'm terribly sorry about our fight we had this morning. I need to see you. I need to fix this. I love you. Let's work on this. And I'm coming out to Survey 319. I'm coming to see you. And so he drives the car. He parks the car. He places Shanann in the car and then will stage an accident. He got the message saying Shanann was at Survey 319, and he was very concerned because there was problems there. But on his drive to the site, he saw the explosion, and he was scared out of his mind. And he got to the site, and his family is gone, and he gets to play the hero. It was all beautifully planned out. But again, when Nicole Atkinson woke up, she had Shanann on her mind. And she was driven with a force. You have to find Shanann. She drove to the doctor's office. Who drives to a doctor's office? You have a cell phone. You call. You say, listen, my friend is not da-da. Did she make her appointment today? Yes or no? She drove to the office. We're talking about a determination here that is only comes from God. It's only God who is pushing this. The crime is committed on Monday. On Friday, he's behind bars. The bodies are retrieved and they are given the dignity, the respect that is required. Heaven cried when he committed these crimes. And then this part is to Chris Watts. There's a respect that comes from when you say, I have Jesus in my heart, I accept Jesus. Jesus is the Son of God. He was born into this world so that he could teach us a code of conduct that stipulates you are to love your neighbor. You are to love God with all your heart, your mind, and your soul. When Jesus was in the garden praying, he said, Lord, if it's possible, please take this cup away from me. Please remove this cup out of my hands. We all have a cup that we have to drink from. Our suffering is not the same. Your suffering is not my suffering, but we are suffering because we are drinking from a cup which is uniquely ours. And it is only with the love of Jesus, the strength of the Holy Spirit, that gives you the wisdom to make it through each day. You cannot claim to hide behind a man who is innocent of any crime. He died out of love. Greater love has no man than to lay down his life for another. This is what he did. He laid his life down for us. And Chris, what you took the life of people you swore to love, honor, cherish, protect. When the Holy Spirit enters your body, there's tears. There's tears. You are remorseful. You are sorry. You wish with all your heart and soul you could make things better and be a better person. There's the Holy Spirit renewing you, washing you, cleansing you, giving you the strength to carry on. Where is your remorse? Where are your tears? You cannot comprehend the life of Jesus Christ. You cannot. For you have not humbled yourself. You have not. You are prideful and stubborn, and you think that you have the solutions to everything. So I'm very sure that there's a Metallica song out there for you. Don't hide behind Jesus. Don't be hide behind pure love. Pure love. Don't do it. You are bringing immense consequences onto yourself. People who claim that they are Christians understand love leads you. Understand that you bear fruit. Your actions speak louder than words. You don't need to say, you don't need to claim who your God is, because you are known for who your God is. The 111-minute call, Nicole Kissinger left her phone at home and somebody was at her house and she took a taxi cab. The charges went through his Chase bank account, and I believe as Shanann was entering the door, those charges were coming through her phone, and she wanted to know why a taxi cab was ordered that night. Chris had the Lexus. Nicole took her home. But there's a taxi cab that was ordered on the 12th of August, Sunday night. The 111-minute conversation is a shaky alibi at best. Because when your truck was brought to you and it changed from your area and pinged in Frederick, we knew you were being collected and your truck was being handed to you. Your GPS shows a diversion on your truck. It doesn't mean you were driving your truck. It just means somebody else had your truck and was taking your truck to you. It doesn't mean that you were at the White's house. You could have been dropped off. You could have walked anywhere. So essentially, you have no alibi for the Sunday. And when somebody stalks someone and they want their life and they have this burning need for destruction, do you honestly think they weren't going to be present to watch the humiliation unfold as the betrayal, as everything starts to make sense, as they are laughing? And then what's worse is nobody wants to do anything about this because this person has connections and she's being protected, and the DA has stated quite clearly she's not to be investigated. okay, you do realize that there's a stalker on Facebook who's monitoring what you're doing. You do realize how serious the situation is. And you do realize she's done it before and will do it again. I want to thank God with all my heart for how He stepped into this case. Before the cops could even investigate, information was being brought to them. Nate stepped forward with footage. The commercial that showed on the TV in front of the officer of the baby, the oil rigs, the grave. No one had to investigate. Shanann's mom phoned the police. She phoned continuously, following her intuition, following everything, giving the police all the information she could give. If ever there is something that can show us God lives and exists, it's in the way this case was so swiftly, justice was poured all over this man that he could not, for every lie he had, there was a contradiction available. There was an explanation. You didn't stand a chance. You didn't stand a chance because you do not get to murder children and walk away. And no one gets to murder someone and profit off their life either. And you don't get to make YouTube videos and slander those people who are no longer here to defend themselves. That's in poor taste. And you can do better than that. You have a platform. Use it to uplift people. Use it to inspire people. Use it to motivate people. Because I'm at the point now where I don't know if I want to carry on with this journey of love. And it is watching Shanann's videos and listening to her words that make me think maybe I can hang on. Maybe I can do this. Maybe I can find a reason. See, never should have killed my son. Here he was. I have 3 sons. And my youngest son was murdered by the chemotherapy unit. He was scheduled for 1 dose of chemotherapy. He was there for 1 dose. When he went in at 2, when we called him at 2:30, he said, "Mom, they're preparing another dose." He was given 4 treatments that day, and 18 days later he died. So I understand loss. I understand pain. I understand what it's like when you pick up the cell phone to want to call him and know that he's not there. He was 29 years old. He was scheduled for 1 chemotherapy treatment. Just 1. And the doctor said to me as he was taken, my husband wheeled him out in his wheelchair. And the doctor said to me, "You do know chemotherapy is optional, don't you?" And I was so blown away because you refused to discuss his treatment with me because he's an adult. But suddenly you're advising me that chemotherapy is optional. And then you proceed to give him 4. He got his scheduled 1, and then he got 3 more doses. And 18 days later, he passed away. I don't know about you, but that's murder, okay? That's murder. And the graveyards are filled with all the doctor's success. I understand loss. I understand pain. I understand torment. I understand suffering. And I'm asking you, if there's an ounce of humanity inside you, please stop attacking Shannon and let her rest in peace now.